Today's video and this pile of insulation is sponsored by Raycon. They provide innovative earbud designs at prices that don't break the bank. Anyone who's watched the channel a while knows that I've done a lot of Raycon ads. Why? It's because I love them. They get used nearly every single day. I recommend them to anyone I know looking for high quality products at half the price of other premium audio brands. Their earbuds have optimized gel tips for a cozy custom fit. They have 8 hours of playtime, 32 hours of battery life. It really is no surprise they've racked up thousands of 5-star reviews. They have tons of features like custom sound profiles, ear tap function which allows you to control volume, next and previous song, and you can even answer and end calls with this button right here. You might have noticed this case looks a little different. That's because this is a protective case around their new upgraded model of their best-selling everyday earbuds. Raycon's new upgraded everyday earbuds have a sleek ergonomic design that stay in, don't hurt, and sit completely flush in your ear so you can't even feel them when you're laying down. They have active noise cancellation, multi-point connectivity, and a quick charge function that only takes 10 minutes to get 1.5 hours of battery life. These babies are weatherproof, dustproof, sweat resistant, and come in awesome, vibrant new colors. Thanks again to Raycon for sponsoring this episode. Click the link in the description box or go to buyraycon.com/MattKarraker to get 20% off your Raycon purchase plus free shipping. That's buyraycon.com/MattKarraker. Linked in the description below. Let's go.
Oh, hello. Oh, this thing? This is just my first place trophy from Cletus and Cars in Indy. I won the Burnout Rivals competition by a landslide. No big deal. We actually just got everything unpacked. The ranch tang is outside because we somehow popped a front tire on the trip home. It was just an old tire. And so it's down in the front even lower than before, so we can't get it back in the shop yet. We got the trailer in here because we want to do some work on the trailer today. This was our maiden voyage on the trailer, and it has a lot of good features over our last trailer, but we realized some areas we could improve. So that's what we're here to do today. Also, Willie and Steven are going to come by and see the reigning champ ranch tang. It's down bad, so the doctors are going to make a visit. Yeah! I'm going to put him right here so he can watch our work. We just named him Seagull. He's Seagull the Bald Eagle. Also, look at all our stickers. For our first event that we didn't really announce very quickly, it came out pretty well. We're gonna add some bigger Demolition Ranch and bunker stickers to it today as well. I wanna see, oh, I broke it. I'm gonna have to get all new trim for this. I wanna see what's behind these panels, because when this thing was out there in the mornings, it was great. Like, we had the AC running. It was a nice place to like chill, literally and figuratively. But man, once it hit 80 degrees by like 1 o'clock, it started getting hot, and it was hotter than outside was. And so it made me realize that if it's 100 degrees, it's going to be terrible in this thing. And believe it or not, in Texas, it is 100 degrees often. But it was just in direct sunlight, and it was like 80 degrees outside, and this thing was just heating up. AC couldn't keep up. So I want to see about insulating these walls. Maybe they don't have any insulation, and we can pull them off, trying to keep all this in one piece, and then insulate them, and it'll make it a lot better. So I got this pulled back. There's plywood behind it, which is good. That's what adds the strength. But I can see through the plywood right here, and there's nothing behind that. I can see straight through to the metal on the other side. So there is about 1 inch of air in there that we could totally insulate. So when that heat is hitting the roof or the sides are black too, it's absorbing all that heat, radiating on the plywood, which is just coming through to this stuff. So yeah, I think we're gonna freaking do a huge job, pull all of this stuff out, pull the plywood all out, insulate it all, and then put it all back in here. It's gonna like be so much work for barely any gain. But if I can have a nice cold place to sit on a nice hot day, it's gonna be worth it. Look who stopped by.
What up?
These guys, I think sometimes they build stuff, sometimes it's cool. I don't know. We'll get to them in a minute. What do y'all think of our trailer?
I think it's pretty legit, man. Awesome.
All right, so we just took the wall, all this stuff off. We took the whiteboard, and then plywood is under it. And then that is the outside wall of the trailer. So what we want to do is put insulation in between these studs here. Then we took the one off the roof as well. Same deal, no insulation. We're gonna put it all in between all the studs. And so that'll be great. You guys want to check out the ranch tank?
I do.
Let's go look. Everyone thought the car was cool. Like, I mean, it looks wild anyway, but then with the clean compound turbo setup.
Yeah.
Thanks to Smetting Diesel for the turbos, and your bros for doing all the piping. But yeah, look how sad it is under this tarp. We pulled it off the trailer right here, but this tire was dead, and the oil pan was a ½ inch off the ground. So I was like, we're leaving it here. Let's just tarp it until Willie and Steven come look.
It's like, what's that piece of junk under the
Yeah.
Oh, it's a championship burnout car.
But it kind of looks crazy. Like the hood's sticking up. I mean, there's no hood, but it's like there's something big under there.
For sure. Well,
Something wild.
Mikey has one of the shirts on that like is a throwback to like Mellow Yellow Days of Thunder.
Yep.
And I was just thinking like it'd be so cool to have a Days of Thunder montage for this car. You know?
Yeah, let's untarp it and see what we got. You don't know what happened?
I do.
So the second tire popped and the engine shut off. I didn't kill it.
Yeah.
It like somehow it looked like I killed it at the perfect time. Like I'm just like boom, I'm done, and I get out. No, it just died.
Perfect timing.
But then it does run. We started back up. We'll start it up in a second. You need a little starting fluid to get it going.
Okay.
There was fluids everywhere, but it was coolant for sure. And then they sprayed everything with fire extinguisher, so I wasn't really able to see like where stuff was leaking out.
It's like the only reason we had a fire was one, this turbo blanket was kind of oil saturated
Well, and
from the oil leak.
it was still leaking too.
Was it?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
leaking that day. We
You can
kind
see a
of
little bit right there off that turbo as well.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
just don't really know where it's. I don't
we
see where it's
pulled
coming
that
from.
blanket off and then pulled that gasket out and just RTV'd it and
Oh,
stuck
really?
it back on there. So
Okay.
it was because it was still leaking right before the burnout.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the reason for these things having a little bit of fire.
Right. A lot of fire.
A lot of fire.
Yeah, I was actually driving it and I was like, both my turbos are on fire. And I was like, wow! It's like, I don't have time for fires. Let's just go.
We're winning.
We don't have time for fire.
It's crazy. It looks just.
It looks the same.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
No boots popped or nothing. Like that's so cool.
I know. I was thinking we were just going to go out there, instantly throw a boot. And it was like, boom, boom. And then I have just black
Well,
smoke
I
coming
mean,
out.
I shifted into like 2 or 3 gears at the shop. We might have spun the tires for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That was the test that it got.
Yep. Never got hot.
The slightest amount of pressure still.
Really?
Huh.
So it sealed up. It just got warm for whatever reason. Maybe the fans weren't on. I
I
don't know.
know.
What happened.
Yeah, actually, turn that key, because I think we're still hooked up to battery, and see if the fans turn on. So we have a switch to turn the fans on full power, which I did. I hit the switch, but I have my helmet on, the engine's running, the crowd's out there. I never like went back to check to see if they're on. It was like, it's go time.
Here's the switch for the fans.
Yeah.
They were running.
So I bet they were on the whole time, because I know I hit the switch.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's power.
Okay.
A little loose bracket there.
Yeah, they
Look at that. Willie just said I'm starting to love 6.0s, and that's really weird.
It is, dude.
6.0, if you don't know, 6.0 Power Strokes are like the black sheep of the Power Stroke family. Like
almost as bad as a 6.4.
people don't want 6.0s or 6.4s. They love 7.3s and they love 6.7s. That 7.3s are the old Power Stroke, 6.7s are the new ones. These guys were the in-betweeners. They think there is a decent chance that just our heads are bad, or a head gasket is bad. The heads were already kind of bad before. They were hurt.
Yes, they're 400,000 mile spiderweb crack, need a valve job like a couple times ago.
Yeah, when we put the Warren short block in, we knew the heads were bad, but it's a burnout car. It's not hauling your family across
Yeah.
country, so.
So it
Not
is
yet anyway.
possible that our engine is not really hurt. Like maybe we didn't actually burn through a piston or cylinder or something, and we just need to put some new heads on there, and we could be rocking and rolling very soon.
I would like to try to just get it running and see what the crankcase pressure looks like.
We can get it running very easily.
Yeah.
It'll start right up with that little starting fluid right there.
No problem.
Yep, give her a little bump here.
No.
This thing won on your birthday?
No,
Not
what-
quite.
What was that? That was the 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Your birthday
it was May
Monday.
6th.
Happy birthday.
It was a good birthday present for it to live.
Is a good birthday present.
Yeah.
Live is a stretch. So you looking for blow by here? Oh, there's a lot.
Got a little bit this time.
That looks like positive pressure.
So that means that is pressure from our combustion chamber going around the rings of the piston.
It could also be it burned an
Injector
injector
Yeah.
seal.
Oh, really?
Blowing compressor.
Going around that?
So
It
once
started pretty quick, so that's not likely, but
once it warms up, it does haze a lot more like it could be an injector.
yeah.
It's
Oh
hard
yeah,
to
or
say.
it's got a melted piston
I
that
didn't let it
doesn't,
run.
it's not burning fuel because it's fully.
I
mushroom.
guarantee you it'll still, like that, do a nasty burn.
Oh, it would light up those tires right now. Oh, for sure. We drove it up into the trailer, which was nice, because this thing would not be fun to push into a trailer.
Oh, God. I saw y'all pushing it with a locker when it's welded in the back.
Oh,
it's like,
they
we
do
need
not
the whole
move.
team on board, man.
Yep. Holden Bros, good job. Actually, there were some comments that were like, the end of the burnout when Matt won, he didn't even say thanks to the Holden Bros. So I'm sorry I didn't give you guys thanks when it happened, but here it is. Thanks now, next episode.
Yeah. Thank
No,
But
we,
no.
Matt told us thanks via. We have phones also. We don't only communicate via YouTube.
Sometimes I talk to them not on camera.
Yeah.
No, you guys built a crazy car. I mean, we all three built mostly me.
Yeah.
Built a crazy car.
Couldn't have done it without
Well,
you,
we
Matt.
definitely wouldn't be building it without you and your ideas. So this is awesome. We're
Yeah.
glad to be a part of it.
I say thank you for letting us do it, man. It's so cool to
Hell
be
yeah.
part of it. And
I'm an idea guy, so it's nice to have guys like you who can take my crazy idea when I'm like, I want a Power Stroke diesel in this tiny Mustang, and y'all are like, that's dumb. Okay, we'll do it. We're in. You don't have any other clients getting y'all do this kind of stuff?
no, but I'll say,
Unfortunately, no.
the more that this happens, the more people are like, I mean, that does look kind of cool.
Well, and when you win, it's like, how can you
Yeah.
hate on it? It
Right.
wins. Like,
The biggest thing that has happened is that I have a 6-liter sitting at the shop. I've had sitting for a couple years.
You're gonna put it in something now?
Dude, like I watched the video of this thing 50 times because just the sound of it, I'm like, even if I have to work on it every now and again, I just
Yep.
need something
and
that
it
does
makes
that.
me need to get a Duramax so I can compete against you.
That's
'cause
right.
I like Duramax V8s.
Let's go.
We need you to build a Duramax car.
I have one, a Hummer.
Yeah.
H1 Alpha in there. I was gonna say AM General, but
Yeah,
it's not an AM
crazy
General.
car.
Make like lower it. You guys would hurry up and fix the ranch tank, then you can start working on the Hummer. Actually, you need to work on my CUDA also.
Oh yeah, dude, we got a video coming out on the CUDA here pretty
Yep.
quick. We've
And
been
we're
working
here
with
to
stuff
measure
with-
some stuff on the
Yep.
CUDA.
Let's go. CUDA hasn't got any love lately, but it's coming. Another reason why this thing will destroy the show, but also possibly didn't totally destroy itself, is from our good buddies at Bell Intercooler.
Awesome guys, man.
That is what really dressed up the front of this, for one, having this huge air-to-water intercooler up front. What do you call this, a two-stage?
Yeah, it's an interstage.
Interstage.
intercooling.
So Bell Intercooler is actually a local guy. I used to be his veterinarian. He built this for us, this big bad intercooler here that pumps water from this big tank, which we did fill with ice, but then it was like too long between putting ice in there and our burnout that it was just like cool water by the end. So we need to bring an ice chest full of ice and dump it in right before we go next time.
Dry ice. Jackson mentioned dry ice.
He was looking for dry ice. We couldn't find any, but they also are the ones who hooked us up with this monstrosity. So yeah, what do you got here?
Yeah, so this is 4 Spall fans. They're brushless, they're pulse width modulated. These are awesome, and I forget what they call this mount where it like sets in, but it's super clean.
Yeah.
They built a custom shroud for it. They actually built the radiator, like the entire thing. They cut these mounts out for us. We gave him a cardboard template. He brought those on a Sunday like evening and dropped them off.
Saying this, I actually, when we were in the shop, I asked Willie, I was like, y'all didn't make this thing. I could tell that's custom, and I could tell it's a little above your pay grade.
Wow, dude.
Is it?
I mean, maybe.
You guys don't have a laser CNC thing
I
or
could
whatever.
do that if I wanted to, Matt.
You could. I know you could, but would you? You would have put a flat piece of steel in there.
That's exactly what we were like. Gonna cut some trapezoids out. We were
Yep.
like, hey,
Yep.
we did this super cool, knock these little knockouts.
Yeah,
for
it's
you.
like super awesome. It goes right with the line of our roll bar there.
Yes, they also
So-
built that tank, the submersible tank. They
Oh, that's all
fabricated
custom. That's why it fits perfect. Did you see our coverings for the water pipes
that.
in
I
here?
did actually. When I was watching the video, I was like, oh, hey, this one's pretty solid.
That one's good. Made a little box.
This one, I'm like,
We couldn't figure out how to make that one good, so we just wrapped it in metal and duct tape.
it would work. If the
Guess-
line popped, it would have.
Guess who did not get scalded by burning water? This guy. All right, Bell Intercoolers. You guys the man. Holden Bros. You guys are the man. I guess bigger and better next time. So we got some of this insulation. It's just foam sandwiched in between two little sheets. It's reflective, got foil on one side. And then we're trying to figure out how to stick it in here because it has a little lip here on these studs. So Mikey had the genius idea of just cutting it, cracking it, and then popping it right in there. Those are a little test piece. So we'll probably put some glue on the back of all these too. And then we're just gonna try to cover as much as possible of all these walls and ceiling with insulation. If we can get 95% of this thing covered, it's gonna make this hold temperature way better and keep that sun from just turning this thing into an oven. All right, partners, it's time to start cutting insulation and sticking it in. Also in the front up here, I had another idea. I had this extra winch and I hooked it to this hitch mount right here. So this thing will plug into any truck that has a trailer hitch, which all of our trucks do. Merle actually even has one in the front right here. And then we wired it so you can just plug right in. So that makes it super easy to use the winch whenever and wherever you want. Like I thought about putting a winch bumper on my F-350 and then I was like, I'll just do that and we can have one winch that we can put on every one of our vehicles. So I was thinking, what if we put a receiver hitch up there? Theoretically, maybe we break a car one day, like a ranch tang, and it doesn't drive itself back in the trailer. That car's gonna be very hard to push in this trailer. But if we had a winch that could mount right here, and we just turn on the winch and the cable drags it back up in here, that'd be super nice. So I was thinking, I pulled all this off to look. There's a generator. Oh, there's a Mikey down there. Yeah. Hey. We have an I-beam here, an I-beam there, and there's also I-beams that run along the frame right there. If we could span those with some strong enough metal and then weld this right there coming through this board, we could mount a winch in here whenever we wanted. And it would definitely come in handy going to these burnout competitions. It's very often we break our car. Anyway, we're looking into that as well. Giddy up, partners. I was looking at the random pieces of metal we have. We don't have the right thing. It'd be great to have like an I-beam, but we got this rectangular tubing and it's pretty thick walled, and I thought we'd just weld a piece of angle iron around that thing, and man, this ain't going nowhere. This will span between those two I-beams. Just weld it all in. I think that'll work. Hook these guys all on here. Mikey's idea, much simpler. Once we took all this off, we realized there is a very strong pipe that, this is like a C-channel. On the back of it is a big rectangular tubing that butts up. Big structural piece of heavy duty stuff. We just straight up welded a receiver adapter to it, and it's not all the way welded in there yet. We just kind of tacked it in there to see if it worked. And then, this goes right in there. Like that. So you'll have to go around the other side on the outside of the trailer, just put your pin in to hold it. But then this is right here up high, which means it'll clear the ramp. We can hook up to the truck, or we're talking about putting just a battery in there that either charges from the trailer, plugged into the truck, or put a little solar panel on the roof. Best trailer we've ever had.
Mikey, why did you do that?
He was mad because the Texas Pride trailers are better. He was just mad. Sorry,
Yeah,
Texas Pride.
Texas
He was
Pride.
mad about that.
Native Texas Pride.
This is the best non-Texas
Non-Texas
Pride
Pride
trailer
trailer.
we've ever had.
Better never say that again.
Sorry. Punched a wall. He's welding up that. This is actually working really good. So we're just cutting them into sections so we can fit underneath these straps, fit around these things. There's a lot of screws up here. We're just kind of pressing them on, all that. Trying to get the big parts closed up, and then we're coming back through and kind of filling all the little extra spots with insulation. So we are about 50% done on the walls right now, and it's actually going better than I thought. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm kind of getting cold. Seems like it's getting a little chilly in here now, thanks to all this new insulation we got. That's gonna be a big plus. got a new tire on the front of Ranch Tang, so we can pull her in the shop now. She's a little hurt, so we gotta give her a little go-go juice to get her going first.
As a treat.
That's a little treat for her. Ranch Tang say, ow. Ranch Tang's like, why are you doing this to me?
What's all this?
Oil's supposed to come out of the exhaust pipe. Everybody knows that.
Okay.
That's not good. Dang, that's straight up oil.
Yeah.
Maybe is it diesel? Just soot?
It's a leaking injector.
Man, it's soaking wet in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ranch Tang is not ready for a burnout like we thought.
You did a little bit.
Got a little squeak back there, I heard it.
There's some dust on the
And then it
ground.
was coughing. He's like, this is done. Got it all welded in there. That is 9 million times easier than what we were thinking it was gonna be because we didn't realize there was gonna be this. This was kind of too weak to weld to and to have all the support from a winch hooked to. But that thing is solid and hooked into the frame up there and it's not going anywhere. So all we had to do was just weld that little adapter right there and it'll put our winch up high. It's perfect. So cut a hole in our new piece of insulation. Mikey cut a hole in the plywood that was here, and then he's gonna chop a hole in the little tiny thin piece of sheathing metal. So it goes metal, insulation, plywood, and it'll all line up there. This will be sunken in there, which is fine. We wanted to get it as far in as we could to hook onto the metal, and it will all still fit. We're actually gonna drill a different hole that's like right here, and then that whole thing will built in. It'll totally fit perfect, and we'll just have to come around, open this door, put our pin in, and we have a winch that is ready to rock. We are freaking done with the insulation. Man, this place looks so different. It's also not echoey in here anymore. Freaking awesome. And it's just so cold. Like it's actually freezing. I had to put a sweater on before I came in here because it's insulated so well now. This was a big pain in the butt up here, and it's like curved around there. So I put a bunch of slices in those to bend it around. It's curved there. We did the same thing there and there, but got all that. That was part that I was like, I don't know if we're gonna insulate this because it's gonna be a big pain in the butt to crawl up there. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, man, it would stink if we're down here and it's a 100-degree day and it's cool in the back of the trailer, but it's boiling hot in the front and it's just heating everything up. So we just decided, let's do it. Let's go up there and insulate everything. So anything the sun might shine on, it will have this barrier in between that metal and the ceiling in here. So the only thing that we did not insulate in this whole place is the floor. And that's because the decking here is thicker, so the wood will kind of insulate. Wood doesn't really insulate very well, but it'll be better than the thin stuff that was here. Plus, the sun won't ever hit this. The sun doesn't, shine on the other side of that, heating it up like it did this. That was the main problem with the sides and the roof, is they're getting direct sunlight, getting up to 150, 170 degrees, and then that's heating up everything else in here. And you could actually touch the ceiling that was, not even touching the metal that the sun's hitting, and the ceiling is hot. So now the sun hits the metal, heats up that metal, but then this has that foil barrier on the other side to kind of reflect some of that energy back up, and then the insulation, it'll make a huge difference. But sun doesn't hit the floor, obviously, so that'll be good. If it is 100 degrees outside, there will still be 100-degree air underneath there that will heat up the floor. But we just didn't want to have to pull all the floor up. And actually probably wouldn't pull it up because you need it to sit hard on the beams, the metal that's underneath there. So you actually just have to patch all in between all that metal with insulation, and then you'd have to figure out a way to waterproof it. Because you're driving on the highway in the rain, it's gonna be throwing water all over everything. And so it just seemed like more trouble than it was worth. So we did not do any floors. We did do this wall as well, which is where our generator is. We cut this nice little hole right here. When we are not using the winch in this little receiver hitch, we will have to make a plug. So I just need to put a plug in here to keep air and water and bugs from coming through this, because it's just an open hole to that compartment right there. So now the next step is to go back through with all the plywood and put it back on the walls. So it is a bummer, like this looks so freaking good right now because it all looks brand spanking new, and we did a really good job on it. And then we're just gonna cover it up with plywood. It's gonna look exactly the same as it did when we started before all of this work. But that's what we need to do. Get the plywood on there to protect all this insulation so we don't mess it up. Oh man, I'm freaking pumped about this. This is gonna make such a difference. Boom, one panel, done. And that's how that will work. Sweet, in case we need to pull any trailers right there in the back of our trailer. Then you walk outside, you walk around to the front here, and you come in here and you put your pin in there to lock the winch in. And I just didn't do it with the winch because the winch is heavy and that trailer hitch was much easier. And now we can hook a trailer right there. It's perfect. But this thing does have some air around it. You can see light coming in around it. We just need to caulk all that because the generator is right there, which we do have piped. The exhaust is piped to the outside, but there will still be some leakage, plus just the heat. You don't want it sucking heat in here. So we'll make a plug for this hole when we don't have the winch, and we will seal all around the cracks. And I think actually we could go ahead and just put a blocking plate at the very back of that and block that off too. So we'll make it all airtight, keep all of your exhaust and heat out of that little front box out of there. But man, this is cool. We basically just bought a not toter home and then decided we wanted it to be like a toter home. And so we insulated it, we put an air conditioner on it, we have a winch on it now, we got us a little toy hauler. And now all we have to do is get all that wood and put it back on there, and all the electrical. We pulled all the electrical out so that we could get all these panels in there. Now we got to rewire this thing, which was cool. We just literally put all these lights up, and then we realized we needed insulation, so we took everything down. So we got to do all the lighting again, all the outlets, their plugs all in this thing. And then we'll be back to square one, just with insulation. Yay! So my plan is to put the plywood back on, and then all of this like veneer kind of stuff was on there too. This thin like outside board was on there. I think we will put that on there too, just to kind of put a barrier in between the plywood and the inside here. But it needs to be painted because it'll really stink to put that same dingy stuff back up. And we just did all this work, like several days of work, and it looks exactly the same. It'll bug me. I want something to be like bright and new looking that you can see. So I'm thinking we paint it. Now what color? Black would look the coolest, but this is a dark trailer with no windows and it'll be very dark in there. So probably something light. White would be the lightest, but that's lame. So some light color, like a mint green, like a little bit of light orange, tangerine. What do you think? We can paint this wild. We can also do multiple colors. We have the technology. Comment below what you'd like to see the inside of this trailer painted as. Ooh, maybe like an Odie green, like a light Odie, light olive green. And then we have a few more bells and whistles that we have coming in for the trailer to really make it something, to really take this old workhorse and bring it to the new age and make it totally work for all the stuff that we want to do with it. I really like this trailer. I'm a trailer guy. You know this. But I just want to make this one ours, make it perfect for all the stuff we do. Ain't that right? Golly. So I totally destroyed the ranch tang for this trophy. I mean, maybe not totally. It might still be good, but it's blowing oil out the exhaust pipe. Probably not great. But possibly total destruction just for this. Now the question I pose to you, Demolitia, is was it worth it? And the answer I hope I get from you is hell yeah, brother! I'm on fire! Oh.
Hey, what camera is that? Number...
Shut up! Don't tell Mare.